Among the more mainstream folklorists, the conventional understanding of 1987's The Garbage Pail Kids Movie and its titular Garbage Pail Kids is as a retelling of a tale of Arne-thompson-uther type 503 in the mold of the Shoemaker and the Elves. These strange magical creatures, these Garbage Pail Kids, emerge from a mystical garbage can to come to the young boy Dodger's aid, working through the nights, fashioning for him wondrous clothing to impress his beloved Tangerine. And indeed, much like those Helper Elves and other fairy folk, the Garbage Pail Kids' freedom is tied to their clothing. Before they can ride off into the proverbial sunset, they must reclaim their garments from the treacherous Tangerine's fashion show. Attentive scholars might also note how the 7 Garbage Pail Kids shield the beleaguered Dodger from his hunters, the sadistic Juice and his henchmen, much like the 7 dwarfs of fairy tale renown. But this is all dreadfully prosaic. I, risking my very reputation, mind you, propose to you a radical recontextualization. These children, these celebrated icons, the Garbage Pail Kids, are no helpful elves at all. They are better understood as mischievous, malevolent goblins. Certainly, the Garbage Pail Kids' foul appearances and demeanors are much more akin to those of goblins than to those of the congenial elves. They are underdwellers, living in a garbage can, hiding in a basement, and lurking in the sewers, with the pee-pee and the poo-poos. Their keeper, the sorcerer Captain Manzini, even goes so far as to liken their garbage pail prison to Pandora's box, which contained all the world's evils, if you'll recall. The Garbage Pail Kids exhibit antisocial temperaments and cannibalistic urges. They are caked with slime, and they ooze impurities. And the smells, just take a moment to imagine their smells. We see a portrait prominently displayed in multiple scenes, depicting a noble couple with what appears to be a goblin of some kind behind them in the foliage. As an aside, the portrait we know is actually from the movie Troll, and although scholars studying Troll and its sequel, Troll 2, are sharply divided on what constitutes a troll versus what constitutes a goblin, we do know that the man in the portrait is the titular troll, Torok, as a human. Hence, the creature cannot be a troll, and is therefore most credibly a goblin. Again, the mise-en-scène provides the clues. Recall, if you will, the story of Rumpelstiltskin, Arne-thompson-uther type 500, the name of the helper. A miller boasts to a king that his daughter can spin straw into gold. The king imprisons the daughter to perform this feat, night after night, under threat of execution. She, of course, cannot spin gold from straw. No human could. What, are you serious? Instead, though, she bargains with the mysterious goblin Rumpelstiltskin, bartering precious trinkets at first, and later the promise of her firstborn child in exchange for the goblin's help. Only by discovering his secret name can the miller's daughter escape from this contract. Now, as you are no doubt aware, each Garbage Pail Kid in the series of trading cards has two versions, two alternative names. Alligator is Marshy Marshall, for instance. Foul Phil is Bad Breath Seth. Windy Winston is Johnny One Note. Valley Vomit is, of course, Barfin Barbara, etc., etc. In the movie, obviously, only one name is ever used for each Garbage Pail Kid, so the other name is by default a secret name. Perhaps these are their true names. The wizard, Captain Manzini, spends the film searching for an unknown song, a secret spell to banish the Garbage Pail Kids back into their garbage pail prison. Nothing ever succeeds. His music and his magic fail, comically so. The clear missing key is the secret names. Now think of young Dodger. He, like the miller and daughter, is entrapped by his pride and boasting. The Garbage Pail Kids gift Dodger with a luxurious jacket they have crafted, and when Tangerine sees him donning it, he allows her to believe it to be his handiwork. This obligates him to provide 10 more outfits in time for her weekly market, a task to which he is as ill-equipped as the miller's daughter is to spin straw into gold. So he seeks the aid of the Garbage Pail Kids. When these outfits prove profitable, he promises even more for Tangerine's fashion show, falling even further into the debt of the Goblin children. And what is it they demand of him, these Garbage Pail Kids? Well, Dodger promises to help them find their lost friends, ostensibly more Garbage Pail Kids, who they claim have been institutionalized at the state home for the ugly. But before exploring that agreement further, let us revisit the tales of other goblins. So often it is the offspring of mortals these fairies yearn for. That is the price demanded by Rumpelstiltskin and his brethren, such as Holtzrearline, Bonifierline, and Whoopity-Suri. Likewise, for the goblin precipitating the events of the story, the King of the Golden Mountain, trading good fortune to a merchant in exchange for the merchant's son. The Earl-König, the King of the Goblins, he too craves our children.
Well, I don't think you're ugly. Exactly.
Wanna suck face?
No. Well, I mean, no.
Now, sometimes, I admit, the goblin instead desires a wife, a mate, as is the case with Tom Tit-Tot and Terry-Top from other iterations of the Rumpelstiltskin archetype. Just as the Cabbage Patch Kids were found growing perhaps in a mystical cabbage patch, their perverse doppelgangers, the Garbage Pail Kids, were found rotting within a garbage pail, abandoned, discarded. They are thus assimilated into some kind of putrescent fairy realm. Now we return to Dodger's promise to find their kinsfolk. Once one acknowledges the Garbage Pail Kids' origins, one is forced to reevaluate the very nature of these lost compatriots. They claim their friends are prisoners of the state home for the ugly, but as we see, this is not the case at all. I submit now that their missing counterparts are but ordinary, everyday, ugly human children. The Garbage Pail Kids aim to abduct them back to their garbage pail so as to supplant them as changelings. As they find no suitable children at the institution, and as Dodger is most likely too handsome and too cleanly to impersonate, they abscond into the night, broadcasting as the film ends their siren song, "You Can Be a Garbage Pail Kid," which extols the virtues of being a garbage pail kid, thereby wooing any who might still be listening to join their ranks in the garbage pail. Yet, the actual garbage pail kids in the film are opposed at all costs to ever returning to their garbage pail. They clearly need replacements before their escape can be permanent. Dodger should absolutely remain vigilant, for these goblins will not forget whatever bargain he made with them. He should expect them to return to exact the agreed-upon price. However, I believe it is you, dear viewer, who should truly beware. It is you who are the true bounty. As the title song advertises, you can indeed be a garbage pail kid. But I fear such a reckless act of petty rebellion would soon lead to anguish and regret as you find yourself imprisoned and enslaved in the feculent realm of these trash goblins.
If your teacher says you're bad and sends you